Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's just quickly talk about this interview with Meghan, Oprah and Harry, because obviously that is the talk of the talk at the moment, from newspapers to blogs, social media, the press. Every single person is talking about it. I watched the interview, I was glued to the screen and I was like, okay, do you know what, I could film this right now but I'm gonna sleep on it because it was just loaded. Like, there was so many things, and you know, we needed to take our time. Before I get right into the video, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you ever wanted to support my channel, if you check out my description box, you'd find my PayPal and my Cash app, and I really do appreciate it. If you are a new subscriber to my channel, welcome on board. Thank you so much. We have been growing really well and healthily. I'm really excited. Let me just dissect this and let me get right into it. I don't know if I'm going to put everything in this video. I actually do want to do a live because I want to hear what you guys have to say about it and interact, but I'm going to break this down. Firstly, let's just talk about the setup of the interview, because you guys have to remember that all of this is, okay, I'm going to say this, is all politics, it's all structured, it's all thought of. Everything that is played out before our eyes is structured, from what she's wearing to the makeup to the setup. Like, I pay attention to everything. It's not just out of the blue. So I'm going to touch on a little bit about the setup. When we obviously look at the interview, Meghan spoke a lot about freedom, and also Harry spoke a lot about freedom and a lot about being trapped. This was the perfect setting to be out on the open, and it really was symbolic of the freedom that they are now living, the freedom that they are experiencing, the freedom that they have been yearning for, and now they're able to reflect that during that interview, which was really great. We saw that during the interview there was a lot of depth, there was a lot of pain. When you look at Meghan, she's a very simple woman, from her hair, her makeup. I think even for her wedding she did her makeup by herself, right? She didn't have an MUA, she was her own MUA. So she's very elegant, and her eyes were always bright. She had this twinkle in her eyes. She was always smiling through her eyes. Yeah, she's very elegant in the way that she dresses and carries herself. She's very minimal, but notice that when she did her makeup, it was very dramatized. She decided to go for like a smoky look. The thing about a smoky look is that it draws all the attention to the eyes. This was very significant if you paid attention to it. What that meant was that we could draw into her eyes, and her eyes spoke a lot. This gives us a melodramatic effect. It gives us tension, especially with a smoky eye all around the eye. If it's just on top, it leaves the eye a little bit open, but bringing it underneath, it closes the eye. It gives us the perfect effect for the interview, and the camera caught a lot of the expression in her eyes. So having that smoky eye closed up her eyes, it made it sultry, it made it dramatic, it made us focus, it drew the attention to that. So I really paid attention to that detail. And also there was something about her dress which was symbolic. Like, there was loads and loads of symbolism in the setup itself, like without even going into the interview. Was that done purposely? Possibly, who knows? But those are little things that I picked up on. As soon as they opened up, I was like, oh, okay, the makeup is a little bit different than usual, because when you think about it, it's daylight, she's out in the open, it's a vibrant day. That type of makeup, dramatic smoky look, you tend to kind of do it on evening, you know, evening type of events, but this wasn't the type of event. Or was it? That's the question. Let's dive into the interview itself. I loved the way that she spoke. I loved the fact that nothing was off limit. I loved the fact that Oprah was very direct with the questions. Even if Meghan was resisting a bit, or she didn't want to outright say something, I love how direct Oprah came, and she was like, for example, when she was like, okay, was you silenced or was you silent? That was a very closed question, one or the other. Like, there's no in between with that. and I really liked that. And she did that a lot with some of the questions, which was really good because it meant that we got the picture, like we just understood what she was saying. I think there was 3 key shocking moments in the interview which I'm going to touch up on. Number 1, it was the suicidal statement. Number 2, it was the comment about the concerns with Archie's colour. I can't remember number 3, but I'll come back to it. One thing that I will say, it was very interesting because when she was talking, she separated. I don't know if it was her or Harry who said it's very important that people understand that there's the people and then there is the system. I can't remember what they called it. When people think about the whole monarchy and they think about the royal family, I feel like people just kind of see the Queen, and I think a lot of people in the back of their head probably thought it's the Queen, it's the brother, it's Kate, it's those direct people, whereas it's not. It's the Illuminati. It's the system behind that. They didn't want to put a name to it, but there is a massive system. And before I forget, sorry, this thing is going to be a bit all over the place, the whole revealing about the royal family's relationship with the press is absolutely crazy, and I'm so glad that he said that and he revealed that and he exposed them. Oh my days, there's so much to talk about. Oh, okay, let me just go back. I really appreciate the fact that she was like, do you know what, when I first came into the royal family, I was welcomed, and I loved how her face lit up when she was talking about the Queen, and she gave those little examples when there was it on the boat or something like that, and then there was somewhere, and then she showed her little blanket that she normally covers herself with Meghan, and she lit up, like, and it's like she can remember those good moments. I really love that. Like, those moments were really nice and warm, and it wasn't her coming on, you know, degrading the royal family or bashing the royal family. No, for anybody who saw it that way, like, you purposely just wanna hate Meghan, like you actually do, because when you listen to the interview, she spoke from her perspective, from an outsider coming in, and Harry also did the same thing. Like, it wasn't Meghan coming in influencing everything. He is his own person, and before Meghan came, we saw that, like, he was never royal like. Harry has always been controversial in his own way. Like, he's always been the goat. Is it the goat? He's always been the outsider, a little bit like David. If you know anything about David in the Bible, you know, he's always been the one that is like the outcast. So Meghan had nothing to do with that. I think she just brought more out of him. Like, he just needed that push. It's like what he said, in his eyes, Meghan kind of saved him, or she opened his eyes even more, because he knew what it was like being in the royal family. And you know, when Oprah was like, oh, but how can you have been born into something and then now you're saying that you were trapped but you was there in your whole life? The thing about when you're living in darkness is if you're always used to darkness, then you're not going to know what light looks like, and that's going to be normal to you. So let me talk a little bit about when Harry came on the scene. When Harry came on the scene, I felt like he was extremely nervous. He was twiddling with his fingers a lot, and you can see that Meghan was trying to like hold his hand, and she was just like trying to comfort him. And sorry, I love Harry. Like, I absolutely love Harry. Like, I love the guy. Like, I cannot talk enough about, I can give you 1,000 reasons as to why I love him. The level of courage, like, that he has shown, like, this is what, to me, and this is not me saying, you know, they're perfect, because no relationship is perfect, but what he has done, you cannot deny the fact that he loves that woman, and he has represented, to me, in my eyes, in my opinion, what a man should be to a woman when he commits and dedicates his life to that woman as a husband. The level of protection that he has provided for her, the level of love, care, empathy, like everything, he literally has put himself in her shoe. It's like, absolutely remarkable. Like, I'm just like, wow, like this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of love that I'm talking about. When a man loves you, it's like, yes, he will protect you like that because you become his family. And if a guy is not giving you that level of attention, care, they were both very transparent when she spoke about how she was having suicidal thoughts, and he was like, I didn't know what to do, you know. And on top of that, I didn't want to go to the royals, I didn't want to go to my family and tell them. Could you imagine what the response would have been? I don't blame him. Like, you know, for somebody who is supposed to be strong, for somebody who is already an outcast, to now go and expose, almost like exposing your wife like that to people that you already know don't care about her like that, why would he do that? I don't blame him at all. And the fact that he was like, you know what, like I was embarrassed, like I was ashamed, like that's absolutely normal. The fact that they stripped everything away from him when he was born into that, that's very strange to me. The fact that they love to advocate for mental health, and I swear Kate has something, like she's doing something with mental health, and her husband also, and they love to be such an advocate for mental health. Like, there's a documentary that I saw, it wasn't a documentary, but it was something that I saw with William where he went to, it was like a football thing where he was basically talking about mental health. The fact that they love to advocate mental health, and then you have somebody who is a family member coming to you telling you that they need help, that they are scared, like to the point where they are scared that they don't want to be left alone, and no help gets offered to them. That is a joke. Like, I don't want to hear none of them. Piers Morgan, none of them talk about mental health, because mental health is only beneficial for some people, or it's like, let's put this in the front to, you know, make it look pretty, to make it look like we care about the people. But when it actually comes down to offering the help, where is the help? Do you get what I mean? Like, there is no help. And the fact that they mention about their concerns about the color of Archie's skin, and then people are actually debating that word concern. Listen, let me tell you, whether they use the word concerned or whatever, like that should not even be a discussion. I'm seeing people online being like, they didn't say this, they said concerned. Mate, I don't care whether they use the word concerned or something else. The fact that it was brought up in a discussion, they were concerned about the color of Archie's skin, or how dark he was going to be, and the fact that he wasn't going to be offered security. Like, that breaks my heart. That is an innocent child. There's nothing you could say to try and justify that. And the fact that people are trying to justify that in interviews, people are trying to be like, well, do you know, maybe it just came out like this. No, there is no way to justify that. No way to justify it. I'm not going to dwell too much on race because we already know what it is. It was really an emotional interview, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was literally like, I had to keep catching my tears. The saddest part about all of this to me is the fact that she's pregnant. Like, I don't know, like, I'm just like, does anybody realize, remember, like, the lady is pregnant? Like, take away who they are. Like, do you not have compassion? Do you not have compassion? She's pregnant. People like Piers Morgan drilling into that woman, the obsession, like, it's mad to me, you know. It's actually crazy because they actually had some type of relationship. I'm not talking about romantic relationship, but to think that he's literally like latching onto her like a leech, it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. But guys, I'm gonna leave the video here because I don't want it to be too long. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll speak to you guys in my next video. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit that like button and the notification bell, and I'll speak to you guys in my next video.